that these are absolutely wonderful talents, and we're so lucky in Canada to have such terrific people. We've graduated over 830 to different orchestras all over the world, and it's always a pleasure to meet new ones. We re-audition the orchestra every year, and we've had a wonderful success with the public too. There's so many people came, and particularly this evening was wonderful to see so many young people, because that's what we'd like to see. You know, that's the future generation, and that's what we're all about, the future generation. You know, when you hear the audition tapes, they all sound fabulous, but put them in an orchestra, and they're not used to that. That's why we're here. That's what they have to basically learn, how to fit in with one another, how to learn a lot of material in a very short amount of time, and how to be a member of an orchestra. And most importantly, you know, today's professional orchestras, I find, are really boring, because they sit there and it's a job for them. And what we're trying to do is train a new generation for whom this is not a job but an avocation, that they'll bring that love to the profession and communicate that love to the audience, and that's what it's all about.
Each year, over 400 students audition for one of 45 spots in the National Academy Orchestra. Boris Brott founded the Brott Music Festival in 1988 to fill the void of cultural activity in Hamilton during the summer months. It has since grown to become Canada's largest orchestral music festival. At its heart and soul remains its charismatic and innovative maestro, Boris Brott.
He has taken bows before royalty, even Pope John Paul II, and under his direction, Hamilton has found a place on the international music map, and now he is orchestrating new opportunities for young musicians across Canada. CH's Connie Smith raises the curtain on Maestro Boris Brott, then and now.
This is the moment.
Acclaimed tenor Michael Burgess could have been singing to every one of these young musicians. It is the moment they have been waiting for. They are discovering Hamilton, just like the man behind the baton did some 35 years ago.
I was at that point assistant conductor to Leonard Bernstein at the New York Philharmonic, and then this offer came for Hamilton.
But for Montreal-born Boris Brott, it was a community ripe for the challenge, a new community-based orchestra to build from the ground up. From the Hamilton Philharmonic to Opera Hamilton, a total of 6 Canadian orchestras in all. And while Brott was putting Hamilton on the map, Hamilton was putting him out there too, guest conducting all over the world, even guest reporting on TV.
You know, having good lungs is very important to a musician.
In 1986, Boris Brott was awarded this country's highest honor, Officer of the Order of Canada. The very next year, he was inducted into Hamilton's Gallery of Distinction. What followed was the icing on the cake.
I feel this is home, and it's a wonderful place from which to continue an international career.
The Brott Music Festivals were born, along with the National Academy Orchestra, a sort of apprenticeship program for young musicians.
We had a beautiful waterfront. There was a lot of enthusiasm in the community. We'd built up a huge audience. It seemed like the ideal place between Shaw and Niagara-on-the-Lake and Stratford for people to stop off in between.
Brott conducts his business from his Hamilton home, but is also music director for the New West Symphony in Los Angeles, the McGill Chamber Orchestra in Montreal, and at international venues with international stars.
He's always interesting. He's always effervescent. He's one of the most important musical people in terms of putting Canada on the map.
Every summer, the National Academy Orchestra travels to Muskoka, where they perform on the lawn of Windermere House, one of Canada's historic grand resort hotels.
I play the cello. It started when I was very, very little. My father learned how to play the cello a little bit and decided to put the cello in my hands when I was 3 years old. They got a very little cello for me. It was actually a cereal box with a ruler sticking out at the end. It wasn't much of a real cello, but it got me doing this.
Participating with the Brott Orchestra has given me a new perspective on what to expect from a professional orchestra. and dealing with professional musicians is an honor, and it's very different from every other environment I had ever participated in. So it's given me an advantage, I think, meeting the people that I'm playing with and allowing me to learn more repertoire. So it's been a great experience.
My dad was running a program for string players in Montreal, for young string players. And I called him up and I said, well, look, is it possible, could I come and rehearse these string players and then put them together with the NAC players and do a concert with them? Anyway, we did. The concert got rained out, but in the process of rehearsal, it became such a catalytic experience to have the fine professional players of the NAC working together with young players of great ability, but who didn't have the experience. And I said to myself, you know, that's the answer. What we really need in order to produce really excellent professional musicians for orchestras in Canada and elsewhere is a program which puts them both together in a catalytic experience where the professionals are challenged by the energy and the enthusiasm and the ability of the young people, and the young people likewise are challenged by the experience that these professionals have, the consummate experience, and also that we can make contacts for these people across the country.
Young people are unjaded, and we love to play with them because there's so much excitement in their music making. Unfortunately, professional orchestras, and all the mentors will tell you this, get a little jaded as years go by. They play beautifully, but they don't have this extra excitement that you get with young people.
Since 1999, the National Academy Orchestra and Brott Music Festival have performed education concerts for over 140,000 students.
Hi, my name is Brott. This is the National Academy Orchestra, and today we're going to perform a concert that's all about animals and musical instruments. I think that performing concerts for children, particularly with a professional orchestra, is probably the most important concerts we produce. Why? Because this is our future audience. And these occasions when children come to Hamilton Place and listen to a concert for the very first time, when they're 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 years of age, it really makes an indelible impression upon them and something that they will carry with them. And if they've had a good time, it conditions them for the future. And the concert hall experience then can be something that's very enjoyable, and they take away with them an impression that'll last a lifetime.
Children to art at an early age so they can appreciate it later in life, and some children don't have the opportunity at home to be exposed to it, so it's nice when we can do it through the school. The curriculum nowadays focuses a lot on drama, dance, and visual arts and music, so there is a big emphasis on the arts, and it's quite a large curriculum to cover, and it's nice when you can integrate it like today's experience.
Brott Music Festival produces over 40 concerts a season and draws patrons from upstate New York, Toronto, and several other cities in Ontario's Golden Horseshoe. Brott Music Festival has performed concerts for over 1.1 million people. Over 1,000 students have graduated from the National Academy Orchestra and obtained full-time employment in orchestras around the world. Boris Brott has remained steadfast in his belief that music and the performing arts are effective at engaging audiences, leaving an imprint on the hearts and minds of young people that will last a lifetime.